Look at this fucking idiot, dude. He's so fucking awful. He looks like shit, too. This is a shitty ass suit. Weak shoulders, feminine shoulders, terrible beard, bad hairline.
Mr. Vice President Henry Gomez, NBC News. President Trump this week said that ICE has made some mistakes. I'm curious what steps the administration is taking to rectify those, and do you think your presence in Minneapolis today will
Are we transvestigating JD Vance? Yes.
calm the tensions there?
Future femboy for real. Dude, he's experiencing twin death.
Well, certainly one of my goals is to calm the tensions, to talk to people, to try to understand what we can do better. You know, when the president says that that mistakes have been made, you know, my thought on that is that, well, of course there have been mistakes.
This guy does not give a fuck at all in the background.
Because you're always going to have mistakes made in law enforcement. I mean, we all know this. Probably every single person in this room knows a police officer. 99% of our police officers, probably more than that, are doing everything right. Some people are going to make mistakes. That's the nature of law enforcement.
Wait, so are we pivoting off of they did nothing wrong to they made a mistake and please don't be mad?
But the number one way where we can lower the mistakes that are happening, at least with our immigration enforcement, is to have local jurisdictions that are cooperating with us. There are some very basic things that would make Minneapolis look Memphis, Tennessee.
Saying this in Toledo, by the way.
A blue city where you do not have this chaos in immigration enforcement because the local police and the local authorities are cooperating with us. So when you look at Memphis,
Please don't be mad at me that we murdered an innocent woman.
or Austin, Texas, or any other community virtually across the United States of America, and you don't see the same level of chaos in Minneapolis, the natural conclusion is that it's not what ICE is doing in Minneapolis, it's what Minneapolis authorities
Or maybe we just don't have ICE because ICE has murdered many people. ICE has murdered people in all color states, red, blue, purple.
are doing to prevent ICE from doing their jobs. And that's exactly what's happening.
This guy back here with like the beard, he seems so disinterested. I think I'm Fed posting on this guy. 30 plus deaths this year. Yeah. Hold on. I need to see that guy again. This guy right here in the background. This guy's straight up Fed posting. That's a federal agent. They hired the one Hispanic guy to stand in the background. JD Vance conceded Thursday that federal law enforcement officers have not been perfect in their handling immigration enforcement in Minneapolis. So yeah, why the fuck are we pivoting off of this when you were so adamant against it, but now we're pivoting? It's so weak. That looks fucking pathetic. Visits the city. Vance's main message that the best way to reduce clashes around ICE operations would be for Democrats to just cooperate with the Trump administration agenda. Referring to Democrats, I just don't need that. What I do need them is empower local officials. Okay, so we are empowering our local officials. JD Walls, ship name. Tim Walz, gave Minnesotans their National Guard some boosting. President Donald Trump, other administration officials, without offering conclusive evidence, said Good was connected to left-wing protesters, and yeah, so like we've been double, tripling, quadrupling down on this. Even Pam Bondi and like everyone's saying like, oh no, ICE did nothing wrong. To now come out and say, well, ICE made a mistake it looks so pathetic. I don't know why they would do this, especially JD Vance. Reiterated as much that the Trump admin needs more cooperation from Democrats in Minnesota. People want fewer confrontations. I wonder if this is bracing for like more ICE shit to happen. That could be schizo posting though on my part. My thought on that is, well, of course there have been mistakes made, maybe because you're always going to have mistakes in law enforcement. Yeah, but like you make a mistake in law enforcement and you get reprimanded for it. You get punished for it. Make the argument the ballot box with an op-ed. Write an op-ed in the newspaper or argue about it on social media. Don't go to the streets and start assaulting federal officers because you disagree with the policies of our administration. It's cowardly bullshit, and it's going to stop. What? Vance says occasional videos out there that suggest that these guys, or at least some of the people who work for them, are not doing everything right. That is why. Why? That's so fucking pathetic to say. well, maybe we're just not doing everything right, but we're trying our best. Rather, like, Hitler didn't do this with the brown shirts. They never admitted fault. Not once did they admit fault. They constantly said, no, what we're doing is right and what you're doing is illegal. They never, I mean, granted, social media is definitely helping this up because people can see it rather than like brown shirts going around just saying, like, oh, the scary Jews attacked us. And then people are like, oh, okay, trust me, bro. He sympathized with federal officers who are under an incredible amount of stress and facing harassment because of very few far left agitators. Yeah, Jonathan Ross is protected by absolute immunity, which isn't true. Said Thursday that he didn't say, I don't think another official. After he told reporters that Jonathan Ross. Ooh! I bet this is because they're saying, please work with us, Minnesota. Please work with us. Please work with us. And Minnesota's like, no, we're going to do it on our own. We're going to do our own investigation, which will make the administration and Jonathan Ross look very bad. After he told reporters a month that Jonathan Ross, the ICE officer who's fatally shot Good, was protected by absolute immunity, Vance said Thursday that he didn't say that, and that I don't think any other official within the Trump admin said that officers engaged in wrongdoing would enjoy immunity. They literally did. They word for word did. Vance added that he believes the best way to lower the temperature in Minneapolis would be for the state and local officials to cooperate. He has not spoken with the Walls on his trip to Minneapolis. So we're doing... JD Vance, do you care so little about your own life? Like, what... Democrats have disputed the administration's certain... Democrats have disputed the administration's assertion about its broader immigration operation. And about the ICE encounter with Good. They're just disputing this little fact that may have happened. Like, call it for what it is. First thing we have to do is figure out whether it happened or not, and then if it happened, whether it's a good explanation or a bad explanation. Off-duty officers who are black or brown were targeted by immigration officials and asked to show their paperwork. Vance said Trump administration takes such a... Vance also addressed reported instances of ICE agents detaining young children at a public school district north of Minneapolis. Said immigration officials detained 4 of its students in recent weeks, one of them 5 years old. DHS spokesperson Tricia Millicoffin said the statement that ICE agents were targeting the boy's father. And during the arrest, Arias fled on foot, abandoning his child for the child's safety. One of our ICE officers remained with the child while agents apprehended the father. What I find is that the 5-year-old was not arrested, that his dad was an illegal alien. And then when they went to arrest his illegal alien father, the father ran. Story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old? Well, what are they supposed to do? Not this. Like, what the fuck? Okay, you detained a 5-year-old boy, but then also 3 other students? Newly reported internal ICE memo that showed agency told its officers that they can forcibly enter homes of people who's subject to deportation without warrant, signed by judges. The memo dated May 12th, which reads that it was written by an acting ICE director, Todd Lyons, was shared with Senator Richard Blumenthal by 2 whistleblowers. Jesus fucking Christ. Vance acknowledged the massive federal law enforcement presence, less than ideal, going as far as he says, not so many ICE officers in Minnesota. But then again, turn the discussion back to local officials saying a large force would not be necessary if we had a little bit more cooperation with the Minneapolis Police Department. This is absolutely a setup saying, like, oh, well, they didn't help us with the investigation. The investigation is fraudulent. Our investigation shows this. I want to pull up Wall's Twitter real fast because posted something recently. Let's just, like, arrest children. Like, these are definitely Proud Boys. Like, police officers are racist, but they're not, like, this apparently racist. They at least, think about their actions. Immigration officers are asserting sweeping power to enter homes without a judge's warrant. Here. Looking for Mr. President, Minnesota invites you to see our values in action. Come see how the community from all walks of life are working together and how the spirit of the state refuses to be defined by division of fear. I invite you to join me and others in their community to help restore calm and order to reaffirm the truth. Public safety comes from a shared purpose, trust, and respect. But let me be absolutely clear, the state of Minnesota will not be drawn into political theater. This Justice Department investigation, sparked by calls for accountability in the face of violence, chaos, and the killing of Renee Good, does not seek justice. It is a partisan distraction, and Minnesotans are more concerned with safety and peace rather than the basis legal tactics. aimed at intimidating public servants, standing shoulder to shoulder with your community. My focus has always been protecting the kids or the people of the state, not protecting myself. Families are sacred. Kids are afraid to go to school, or families are scared. Small businesses are hurting. Mothers dead, and the people responsible have yet to be held accountable. That's where the energy of the federal government should be directed, not towards restoring trust, accountability, and real law and order, not political retaliation. Oh, should be. Minnesota will not be intimidated into silence, and neither will I. And ever since that, he has been posting. I do love this image of Tim Walz. Like this, I don't know, man. I like. Why are we inviting the? I don't. This isn't great. It's kind of weak Democrat moment. Like, yeah, just call him a fat pedophile war criminal. Law enforcement leaders from across the Twin Cities spoke about ICE operations in the area. DHS list of people says is arrested. NPR examined one of the lists shared with the DHS officials on Monday. Most of the people on the list had immediately transferred into ICE custody at the end of the time served in Minnesota prisons. All those transfers happened before ICE began its search. And yeah, and Minnesota is working with ICE. Every American Republican Democrat. Yeah. I wish Tim Walz would be a lot more poignant and aggressive with his attacks on Trump. That's the only thing I could say on his part. What's mayor of Minneapolis? Oh, we're Tim. I completely forgot, but Tim Walz and yeah, what's his name? Jacob Frey have been subpoenaed by the Justice or Department of Justice. Like this is a little bit more poignant from Jacob Frey. Abuse of power. Stop the powwow grounds this afternoon. Native communities gathering resources, holding ceremony, taking care of one another. Weaponized power to intimidate local leaders for doing their jobs. Every American should be concerned. I mean, true.
Resistance here in Minneapolis.
I mean, they're like.
It's about love.
He's being a little bit better, but Jesus fucking Christ. They need to be a little bit more aggressive in their attacks on Trump. That's the only thing I could say about that. Besides that, I mean, whatever. We'll see what happens. I doubt anything will come of this.